All right, moving on to our next Patreon request, and this one comes from Bill McLaughlin, who asked me to do a three-way crossover between Conan the Barbarian, Berserk, and Gotrek and Felix. As always, if you guys would like to have a Patreon request done, just hit the link in the description box below. Head on over to my Patreon, hit the third tier. That'll allow you access to do so. But other than that, hope you all enjoy this, and let's get started with the video. So this story begins with Guts just kind of in the countryside, roaming the countryside, kind of like taking in everything that happened with Femto and the Band of the Hawk and how fucked over he was. And that's when he is suddenly struck, or at least his horse is struck, by a wave of green energy. And he's like, oh shit, this is sorcery right out the gate. And that's when he hears a voice go, I was told that you'd be some cunning warrior, a slayer of monsters, but all I see is a man with a very big sword and a very big death wish. And Guts is like, all right, who are you? Like, who are you to challenge me? And he goes, oh, I'm sorry. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Thothamon, and I have come to kill you, Guts. So Guts just draws his sword and is just like, I'm going to kill you. Whoever you are, Thothamon. So he does battle with Thothamon. Meanwhile, another age undreamt of. Conan is enjoying a fresh kill of meat, of a fresh deer meat that he's killed. He's just eating in a campsite. He's just eating out in the wilderness. In between jobs, not a lot of gold, and he's just like, I'll have to go look for gold and for meat and comfort soon. And that's when he hears another voice go, why would you? Because you're not going to live that long. Or you could, under me. And Conan immediately draws his sword, and he's like, who dares speak to the Crimean? And he goes, me. Allow me to introduce myself. Manfred von Karstein. And he goes, what manner of creature are you? And he goes, haven't you ever encountered a vampire before? Allow me to educate you in our rules. So Conan draws his sword, saying, I fear no undead, and you shall be rejoining them soon. He just charges at Manfred. Finally, we have in another age undreamt of, Gotrek and Felix are at a bar, drunkenly enjoying all of their, they've just killed a monster for gold, and now they're just kind of, laughing it up, having a good time, getting drunk, and all of that, and spending all their money. And that's when the wall just suddenly comes down. And, of course, Felix is like, I just wanted one night. I just wanted one night to sleep before something comes tearing at the walls to get us. And Gotrek is like, finally, a worthy challenge. He just picks up his axe and he's like, who challenges Gotrek of Clan Gunnarsson? Speak. Speak so I may claim your head or you claim my life. And this voice through the soot and whatnot in the darkness says, I was told that you were a warrior worthy of killing. You and your man friend proved that those voices were right. And Gotrek goes, I say again, who challenges the Slayer? And that's when this huge hulking figure comes stepping in and goes, I am called Zod the Immortal, and I shall be your death. So Gotrek and Felix just throw down with Zod the Immortal. So yeah, we are getting an Acts of Vengeance type story. So Guts is in the middle of battling Thothamon, and he's battling his sorcery. He's like, I've dealt with wizards before, but this guy is something else. He's like conjuring demons, conjuring illusions, even showing Thothamon uses his magic to terrorize Guts in his head, of showing Griffith turning into Femto and everything that happened alongside it, shall we say. And Guts is trying to desperately fight through it. Meanwhile, Conan is battling Manfred and a bunch of people he sired into vampires. Zod is just smashing Gotrek and Felix through this town, and they're just fighting desperately to keep up with them. So, yeah, you're probably wondering what happened. How did these three, different threats come together to try to like take on our barbarian friends? Well, essentially, what had happened was Thothamon was like, I can't kill Conan. He's the biggest threat to my plans. But maybe someone else from another realm can, and in turn, I'll help them. So he actually summoned Zod and Manfred, who also had their own troubles, and he's like, gentlemen, let me, allow me to make some problems. And you're probably wondering, how Zod's dead. Zod's already dead. How is he back? Well, Thoth pulled him, not through his own realm, but through time. He basically pulled Zod the Immortal out of that point where he was about to fight Guts, and then pulled him into this realm and time period. So he gets Zod and convinces him, hey, you go fight them, and I'll do you a solid. Manfred's just like, yeah, I'll go kill your barbarian, whatever, if I get to make more vampires, and you show me how to use your magic. And Thothamon's like, cool. So that's how we're here. So Conan is battling Manfred von Karstein, and Manfred's just kind of like yucking it up. He's just like, you remind me of two very big thorns in my side, but you smell much worse. And he's like, I don't know, like Conan's like, I don't know what kind of threats you face, but they're, if you're the biggest threat there, they must not be great heroes. Meanwhile, Gotrek and Felix are fighting desperately against Zod, who's just smashing them through buildings, and Gotrek is just like laughing it up. He's just like, this is the greatest battle I've been in a long time. And Felix is like, please, let me just lay down for a second. And with Guts, he is still fighting desperately against Thothamon's magic. Until, like, his sword, which can cleave through magic, just gets through several illusions and whatnot, and he's fighting and breaking out of it until he finally gets at Thothamon and stabs him through the side of the stomach, and Thoth is just in terror because now he's like, oh god, now I understand why this guy was why this guy is so terrifying, because then Guts is just proceeding to pummel Thothamon, and Thoth is like, I would rather fight Conan than this guy. So he flees because he's just bleeding out. He flees back to his realm, and Guts is just like, whatever. Puts his sword away and proceeds to walk down the road. Zod, however, is battling Gotrek and Felix, and Gotrek manages to get Zod in the base of his spine, causing his legs to give out. And that's when he's like, Gotrek, now! Gotrek raises that axe, and Zod is like, no, just gets decapitated by Gotrek, who's just like, damn. He's all bloodied and shit, and he's just like, damn, I was hoping for a better fight. Oh well, come manling. We have, there's worlds, there are more threats to fight, and Gotrek's like, please let me sleep first. And finally, with Conan, who's in the midst of battling Manfred, he's killing his way through the vampires in such a brutal fashion that Manfred's just like, oh, he's not like Gotrek or Felix. He's actually a ferocious beast. And Conan's like, beast I may be, but this beast shall be your end, vampire. And he just comes charging at Manfred, and Manfred goes, I'm out. He just uses the magic that got him here and uses him to just go back to his world because he's so fucking terrified of fighting Conan. Because remember, Manfred von Karstein is many things. Coward is one of them. So by the end of it, all three of the even Conan was like, bah, they've ruined my meal, and they've ruined my rest. Might as well go to the nearest town and find coin and conquest. So by the end of it, all three parties are beaten or dead, and the other half, their respective rivals, are just kind of that was a weird night. Oh well, mosey on through. So none of them knew what was going on from those attacks between Thoth, Zod, and Manfred. They were just like, yeah, that was a weird night. Anyway, next thing. So there you go, guys. That is the three-way crossover. I want to thank Bill McLaughlin for this Patreon request as well as continued patronage, and hope you all enjoyed this. Other than that, I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.